You've been waiting for this. Rally Ford Focus tearing through a snowy racetrack. Dear friends, hello to everyone. On this crisp winter day of the new year, I want to share a piece of my winter with you. My snowy race featuring the incredible Rally Ford Focus, a car built precisely for these challenging conditions. Get ready for plenty of drifting and a whole lot of snow. This isn't just a race, it's a true test of the car's power, your driving skills, and the forces of nature. The car is incredibly dynamic, but the surface is insanely slippery, and every turn demands precise control to keep it steady. By the way, if you haven't seen it yet, check out the video on my channel where I practiced and showcased my drifting skills in a real BMW. I'd be thrilled if you gave it a watch. I've done my best to edit this video to make it exciting and dynamic for you to watch. I'd really appreciate your feedback and suggestions. Now, back to our race. This car is an absolute beast. It just keeps charging forward. But you have to catch it at every turn, striving to navigate each corner cleanly, just like you would in real life. Every drift feels like a battle, balancing between control and chaos. The snow-covered track doesn't forgive mistakes, and even the slightest misstep could send the car spinning. But that's what makes this so thrilling. It's all about precision, timing, and focus. As I drive, I can't help but compare this experience to my real-life drift training in the BMW E36. Virtual reality might not give you the smell of burning rubber, but the intensity and immersion are on another level. If you're interested in seeing how I handle a real car on the track, check out that video on my channel. Your feedback there would mean a lot too. But for now, let's see how well I can master this rally beast on snow. Every second counts, and every turn is a challenge. Will I make it through cleanly, or will the snow and ice get the better of me? Let's find out together. The intensity keeps building with every lap. The Ford Focus Gr.B doesn't just drive, it charges through the snow like a wild animal, constantly testing my reflexes and focus. The roar of the engine, combined with the crunch of snow under the tires, creates an atmosphere that's nothing short of electrifying. What makes this race even more special is the constant battle with the elements. The snow is unpredictable, hiding icy patches that can spin you out of control in an instant. The tighter the corner, the more precise I have to be, gently balancing between throttle and brake to keep the car steady. And let's not forget the thrill of the drifts. There's something magical about feeling the car slide through the corner, tires gripping just enough to keep you moving forward. It's almost like dancing with the machine. One wrong step, and the race could end in disaster. But that's what keeps me coming back for more. Racing in VR makes it all feel so real. The depth of the track, the way the snow flies up as the tires carve through it, and the sheer adrenaline of being in the driver's seat. So, stick around, because the best part of this snowy showdown is still ahead. Let's see if I can push this car to its limits and come out on top without losing control. As the race goes on, the challenge becomes even more intense. The snow piles up on the edges of the track, and every lap brings new ruts and icy surprises. The Ford Focus Gr.B is still pushing forward with relentless power, but keeping it under control feels like walking a tightrope. One of the most exciting parts is nailing a clean drift through a sharp turn. It's not just about speed, it's about precision. You feel the back end of the car start to slide, and for a moment, it's like time slows down. Every input, steering, throttle, and even the way you shift your weight in the virtual cockpit plays a role in pulling off the perfect drift. When you get it right, it's pure satisfaction. And let's talk about visibility. In real life, racing in snowy conditions means dealing with reduced vision, and VR captures that perfectly. The snow sprays up behind the car ahead, creating a whiteout that forces you to rely on memory and instinct to stick to the racing line. It's as close to real winter rallying as you can get without stepping outside into the cold. What really amazes me is how immersive this experience is. With VR, you're not just watching the race, you're in it. You can see the dashboard light up, glance at the side mirrors to check your angles, and feel every bump and slide through the feedback. It's like the car becomes an extension of you. But the pressure's on now. The final laps are always the hardest. My goal isn't just to finish the race, it's to master the track, to find that perfect balance of speed and control. Will I cross the finish line without any major mistakes, or will the snow claim victory? Stay tuned, because this race is far from over, and the final moments promise to be the most thrilling yet. One of the best things about racing in VR2 is how incredibly immersive it feels. The moment you put on the headset, you're no longer in your living room. You're sitting in the cockpit of the Ford Focus Gr.B, surrounded by the roar of the engine and the blinding white of a snowy racetrack. Everything looks so real, from the intricate details on the dashboard to the way the snow kicks up behind the car as you accelerate. What makes VR2 stand out is the clarity and depth. You can see every bump and groove on the track, every snowbank waiting to catch you if you slip up. The headset gives you a full 360-degree view of the race, so you can glance around naturally, check your mirrors, admire the icy trees whizzing by, or look ahead to plan your next move. It's like being dropped straight into the heart of the action. The headset also has incredible responsiveness. Every movement feels natural, whether it's leaning into a turn or glancing at the apex of the corner to line up the perfect drift. It's this level of interaction that takes the experience to the next level. You're not just playing a game, you're living the race. Even the weather effects are stunning. The falling snowflakes, the way light reflects off the icy surface, and the mist forming around the edges of the track, it's all captured beautifully. Combined with the smooth frame rates of VR2, it feels like you're really out there in the freezing cold, battling the elements and pushing your skills to the limit. What I love most is how intuitive the controls feel. The steering is precise, and every subtle input translates perfectly to the car's movements. When you pair that with the haptic feedback, you can almost feel the car struggling for grip on the icy surface. It's those little details that make this such an unforgettable experience. And let's not forget the sheer thrill of racing in VR2. When you're behind the wheel, your heart races as fast as the car. You feel the pressure of every corner, the satisfaction of every clean drift, and the adrenaline of overtaking in tight spots. It's the kind of excitement that keeps you coming back for more. So, as we approach the final stages of this race, I can't help but marvel at how far gaming technology has come. With VR2, it's not just about playing a racing game, it's about living it, feeling it, and being a part of it. Let's push forward and see if we can finish this race in style. The race continues, and I'm fully immersed in this snowy world, with every turn, every drift, feeling more real than ever. The Ford Focus Gr.B is an absolute machine, tearing through the icy surface with a level of control that's almost otherworldly. But that doesn't mean it's easy. Every second counts, and you can feel the tension building up in the air. The snowflakes are falling so thick, they almost obscure the view, but that's part of the challenge. The more you race, the more you realize how much concentration this track demands. As I navigate through each corner, I feel my body instinctively lean into the turns, even though I'm just sitting in front of a screen. That's the magic of VR2. It tricks your brain into thinking you're really in the car. You can almost feel the cold wind in your face, the weight of the car shifting beneath you, and the snow crunching under the tires. The sense of speed is absolutely exhilarating, but it's paired with a constant undercurrent of control. If you're too reckless, that's when the snow and ice catch you off guard, sending you into a spin or, worse, off the track entirely. With VR2, it's not just about racing, it's about experiencing every detail, every sensation, as if you were really there. I glance around and the world feels alive, not just a static image. I can look over my shoulder to check for other cars, see the snow building up on the side of the track, and even look up to see the sky shifting with every passing moment. The sense of space is unlike anything I've experienced before. The haptic feedback in the VR2 controllers is another layer that adds to the realism. Every bump, every shift in the car's balance is transmitted directly to my hands. When the car slides, you can almost feel it struggle to grip the road. And that's a sensation you don't get with just a standard controller. The vibrations remind me that every decision I make has an impact on the car's performance. Each time I throttle too hard or take a turn too wide, I feel the car push back, urging me to correct it. It's that kind of instant feedback that makes the experience so immersive. The sound, too, plays a huge role in setting the mood. The engine roars, the tires squeal, and you can even hear the subtle crunch of the snow under the wheels as I drift through the corners. In VR2, the spatial audio makes it all come to life. Every sound feels like it's coming from the right direction, whether it's the roar of the engine behind me or the slight hum of the wind outside the car. What strikes me the most, though, is how personal this race feels. With each lap, it's as if I'm learning to understand the car better. I start to feel its weight, its limitations, and its potential. The Focus is a beast, but it's also a partner, one that requires precision and respect. As I approach each corner, I have to anticipate, adjust, and react. It's not just about pushing the car to its limits, it's about working with it, finding that delicate balance between speed and control. The feeling of the car responding exactly how I want it to is pure satisfaction. There's nothing like the rush of a perfectly executed drift through a tricky turn. The track is relentless, the snow isn't going to give me any breaks, and neither will the Focus. Every lap I push a little harder, a little faster, trying to squeeze every ounce of performance out of this car without losing control. And that's what makes it so thrilling, the constant tension between speed and risk. You never know if the next turn will be the one where the car slips out from under you, but that's part of the excitement. As I near the end of the race, I can't help but feel a sense of pride. This isn't just about finishing a lap or crossing a finish line. It's about mastering the track, the car, and the conditions. Every drift I've pulled off, every corner I've conquered has built up to this moment. Racing in VR2 has allowed me to push my limits, just as if I were actually on a frozen rally course in real life. It's not just a game, it's a journey, one that tests both skill and courage. And as I approach the final few laps, the adrenaline is still pumping. The car is still handling beautifully, and I'm still in control, at least for now. The snow continues to fall, but I can feel the finish line approaching, and I know that every choice I make in these final moments will determine how this race ends. It's a perfect mix of exhilaration and focus, a rush that's hard to describe but impossible to forget. And there it is, the final stretch. Everything's on the line now. The pressure is on, but I'm ready. It's time to see if all that practice, all that concentration will pay off. Let's finish this race and see how it all comes together. As the final lap approaches, the tension is at its peak. I can feel the Ford Focus Gr.B responding to every subtle input, and the track is getting trickier with every second. The snow is relentless, but so is the car, and it feels like everything is building to this moment. The drift around the last corner is smooth, almost flawless. My heart is pounding as the finish line gets closer. This race has been a true test of focus and skill. Every twist, every turn has forced me to push my limits. But that's what makes racing in VR so special. It's not just about the car or the track, it's about the connection you have with the whole experience. With VR2, I've been able to feel every moment, every challenge, and every triumph in ways that make it feel almost real. As I cross the finish line, there's a moment of relief. The car, the track, and the snow, they've all been a part of this incredible journey. I'm satisfied with how the race turned out, but I also know that there's always room to improve. That's the beauty of racing, the constant challenge, the drive to get better. Thank you all for joining me on this winter rally adventure. I hope you enjoyed the race as much as I did. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Your support means a lot and helps me continue bringing these experiences to you. If you have any thoughts or suggestions, feel free to leave them below. I'd love to hear your feedback. Until next time, stay tuned for more thrilling racing action and immersive VR experiences.